I stood at the altar, fingers twitching at the knot of my tie for what felt like the 100th time. Every pair of eyes in the room clung to me, heavy and expectant. Then I saw her, Cindy, gliding down the aisle like she belonged there, every step effortless and intentional. She wore a simple gown, elegant in the way only confidence could make it. Around her, the world blurred and dulled. There was only her. We had first crossed paths at a charity event my company hosted nearly 2 years before. She'd been all sharp wit and dry humor, unimpressed with my title or status. I liked that. It wasn't easy to hold her attention, and that made winning it feel like something worth fighting for. And now we stood at the brink of forever. Jason, my oldest friend and now best man, leaned in close. "You actually pulled it off, Russ," he whispered, amusement in his tone. I chuckled, I still fixed on Cindy. "Don't curse it yet," I muttered, and his hand clapped my back with brotherly pride. It drew a few chuckles from the crowd. The ceremony flew by in a blur. Vows were spoken, rings exchanged, and lips met in a kiss the world told us we'd never forget. It all passed like a dream lit with adrenaline and flashbulbs. At the reception, Cindy shined. She floated through conversations, danced with my nieces, and laughed in perfect rhythm with the crowd. When awkward moments cropped up, she found my hand, grounding me. She seemed born for this. I remember thinking, this is it. This is the woman I'll build everything with. That night, we returned to the condo I'd purchased 6 months before popping the question. She slipped off her heels, twirled once in the living room, then dropped onto the couch in a carefree sprawl. I joined her, took her hands in mine. "Let's start this marriage right, Mrs. Hayes." Her smile faltered. "Not tonight, Russ. I'm exhausted." I brushed it off. Of course she was tired. It had been a long day. I kissed her forehead and told her to rest. But I didn't know then that this wasn't just a tired night. It was a sign. A small, quiet warning that went unnoticed. The first week was a storm of thank you notes, family visits, and work catch-up. We barely had time to breathe, much less connect. But something lingered in the silence between us. I'd reach for her, light touches, a hand to her back, but she'd flinch or pull away. "I'm tired," she'd murmur. "It's my body. I have that right." Always calm, practiced like she'd said it before. I didn't argue. I wouldn't push her. But it gnawed at me. One night over dinner, I tried to talk. "You okay?" I asked as she played with her pasta. "You seem a little distant." She didn't look up. "Marriage takes time, Russ. It's an adjustment. We can't expect everything to feel perfect." I nodded, even though her answer didn't feel right. And then the late-night phone call started. One night I woke to her voice, soft, secretive. It wasn't her sister. Wasn't a podcast. It came from the guest bathroom. I crept down the hallway, heart hammering. "I'm working on it," she whispered behind the door. "He has no clue. Just be patient." Then a laugh, private, intimate, familiar. When she opened the door moments later, she nearly bumped into me. Her surprise was brief, her face resetting quickly. "What are you doing up?" "Couldn't sleep." "Who were you talking to?" She smiled, breezy. "Just work stuff. You know how it is." And then walked past me like nothing had happened. That night, once she fell asleep, I picked up her phone. Guilt clung to me, but I couldn't ignore the growing doubt. Call logs. One name. Jason. Late hours, long durations. My chest caved in. I didn't say anything. Not yet. That Friday, she claimed she was meeting a college friend for drinks. Her outfit said otherwise, sleek dress, sky-high heels. I waited a few minutes after she left, then followed at a distance. She drove downtown and parked behind a closed cafe. Jason arrived moments later. They walked to each other and kissed like it was second nature. No hesitation, no guilt. I didn't get out of the car. Didn't yell. I just watched. My hands gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles whitened. Something inside me turned cold. Solid. Done. Back home, I played the part. Smiled when she walked in. "Have fun?" I asked. "Yeah. Great catching up," she replied, too casual. While she showered, I searched her purse. A second phone. Burn phone. Hidden deep. I didn't unlock it. I didn't need to. I took photos. Time-stamped everything. Sent it all to myself. The next day, I contacted a private investigator, one a friend had used during a messy business deal. I handed over the details. Over 2 weeks, he gave me everything. Photos of them at motels, quiet cafes, cash withdrawals she'd lied about. Even backed up messages. Plans to bleed me dry, sell my company, start over. Without me. Jason kept pretending nothing was wrong. Even stopped by my office like old times. Poker night, he asked. I stared at him. The same guy who once covered my bar tab when I was broke in college? Yeah, he chuckled, unaware. Can't. Got plans with Cindy. He thought he was winning. He wasn't. Cindy started asking about my business more. What's the expansion budget again? Would you ever think of selling? Her voice sweet, too sweet. Her eyes calculating. I fed her lies. I gave her just enough rope. By the end of the 3rd week, I had everything. Bank records, messages, photos. I compiled it into a thick folder and drove it to my lawyer, Angela. She flipped through the evidence, jaw tightening. This isn't just infidelity, she said. She's trying to set you up for a major loss. Exactly, I replied. I want to move fast. That night, Cindy came home late again. Perfume unfamiliar, laughter too easy. I handed her wine, kissed her cheek. Good night. I asked. Wonderful, she smiled, phone in hand beneath the blanket. I sat opposite her, unreadable, calm. That was the last night I'd play dumb. The next morning, Angela delivered the papers in our kitchen. Cindy was scrolling through her phone, spooning yogurt, when she looked up. What's this? Divorce, I said. For what? Fraud. Infidelity. She scoffed. You're joking. I stood slowly. I'm not. Oh, and in case you forgot, the prenup is ironclad. I've got more evidence than you can deny. Her mask dropped. You'll regret this, Russell. I shrugged. Already regretted marrying you. As I walked out, something shattered behind me, glass against wall. I didn't turn back. She didn't go quietly. Her online pity parade began immediately. Accusations of coldness, emotional abandonment. Mutual friends messaged me. I ignored most of them. The people who mattered already knew the truth. Jason tried to keep things quiet. But my investigator had dirt on him too. This wasn't just a fling. It was a full-blown plan to take me down. Jason eventually came to my office, nerves barely masked. Let's talk, he pleaded. This got out of hand. You want to talk? I said. Talk to Angela. You'll be hearing from her. It wasn't personal. You slept with my wife. Tried to steal my company. That's about as personal as it gets. He tried to explain. Blame Cindy. Say he felt trapped. Own it, I said. You chose this. Security walked him out. Not because I feared him, but because I didn't owe him a second more of my time. Cindy's lies fell apart quickly. Angela released a calm, clean statement. Documents, receipts, messages. No spin. Just facts. The court of public opinion handled the rest. Overnight, Cindy became a joke. Jason vanished from social media. I kept working. I focused on my projects. I promoted the people who earned it. Strengthened the business. Tied every loose end. Cindy's messages eventually turned desperate. Angry. Then silent. Jason tried starting his own firm. It collapsed in months. No foundation. No loyalty left to stand on. Me? I kept building. Not just structures, but a life. Solid and honest. Every brick earned. Every bond chosen. A month later, I drove without purpose until I found myself at a quiet hilltop, an overlook from my youth. The city glittered below, alive and buzzing. Somewhere in that glow, Cindy was still lying. Jason was still spinning. But it didn't matter anymore. I thought of our wedding. The pressure in my chest. The belief that love alone could carry everything. I smiled to myself. Not bitter, not sad. Just wiser. Some things fall apart, because they weren't made to last. What matters is that I saw the cracks before they swallowed me. My phone buzzed. A message from Rachel, one of the newer team members. Simple. Sincere. Drinks Friday? I looked at it, smiled faintly, and slipped the phone away. Not because I needed to fill a void. but because I was free to choose now, on my terms. I took one last look at the city, then climbed into my truck and drove, not running from anything, just finally moving forward.